Welcome to the post-show debrief, and thanks for being with us. Quite a lineup of guests again today, talking with Ambassador John Bolton, Professor Walid Faris, also one of the leading experts in the world on the Middle East, and talking as well with world-class journalist Judith Miller, who is with the Manhattan Institute and a Fox News contributor, and Democratic strategist Robert Zimmerman. Focusing primarily, of course, today, as is the rest of the world, on the crisis that is gripping all of Egypt, and what has now become a contest, it appears, between the supporters of Hosni Mubarak in the streets of Cairo against those who are demonstrating for Hosni Mubarak to step down and to turn over the reins of power to someone who represents broadly the Egyptian people, whether that be Mohammed Baradei, who is obviously maneuvering to put himself into position to fill any vacuum that would result should Mubarak step down, as President Obama has insisted that he do. The views clearly on the part of Bolton and Faris, critical to a large measure of the way in which President Obama has handled himself, both the ambassador and the professor, putting in context the history of the relationship between the United States and the critical strategic relationship that must be preserved between Egypt, the United States, and, in fact, the State of Israel. Also talking with Robert Zimmerman today, talking about the policies that the Obama administration is following. Robert Zimmerman, as a Democrat, as you might expect, was focusing mightily on the problems, and Judith Miller, by the way, doing the same, in some ways empathizing with President Obama because of the difficulty in which he finds himself trying to set just exactly the right tone, the right balance between our geopolitical strategic interest and an appeal to the Egyptian people who are demonstrating for a change of power. Not an easy job, but as I reminded Judith Miller and Robert Zimmerman, you know, this is not the time for me to say to the President of the United States, poor baby, it's a tough job. This is the time for the President of the United States, I think, to act with firmness, but certainly considerable humility. And to this point, this President was being far more, I thought, suitably modest in his in his administration's pronouncements of the first few days of this crisis than he certainly has been over the past day or so. It is also important to note that this crisis, the outcome is still unknown, obviously, to any expert, but it is very important that we all remember, and in particular I hope this President will, that having no ability to shape the outcome, it is extraordinarily a course fraught with jeopardy to make a demand that a man like Hosni Mubarak step down from the seat of power that he's held for 30 years. The next few days will be indeed determinant and interesting for all of us who care about the United States' relationship to Egypt, to Israel, and to the Middle East to observe. Thanks for being with us here for the post-show debrief. I'll see you next on the radio.